Find yourself doing that on a regular basis. You find yourself overspending. So you're coming to the Philippines, you definitely want to hear this. Hey guys, this is Jay, the Black Filipino TV. Now today, I want to get into this, the mistakes expats make when they move to the Philippines. I'll do around 5 or 6, and I'll make sure it's numbered so you guys know where to look. So guys, let's get right into it. Number 1, underestimating the cost of living. Now there's a big craze in the Philippines on living off of $500 per month. Now, yes indeed, there are some people that can live off $500 per month, but I just wouldn't suggest that for the masses. I mean, you're not gonna know your budget until you're physically here in the Philippines and you're living here. Now, living off $500 a month, I said it before in many other videos and live streams, that's living like a Filipino. Find Filipinos living off $500 a month for no problem. A lot of times they'll be in a 1-bedroom that's really just a 1-bedroom. You'll be bringing yourself down to such a level where you're barely living, and as a foreigner, that may not be comfortable for you. Now, there have been foreigners in the past that have lived off $500 a month. You know, I've known a guy that lived here and lived straight off his YouTube. You know, he made about $500 off of YouTube and live off of that. Now, I say in this case, to each his own. You'll find your budget when you come here. You don't know for sure if you're gonna be comfortable living off $500 a month. So don't come here with that set in your mind. Like me, for instance, I live off $900 a month, but that may not even be comfortable for you. You know, you have some guys that come here and live off $5,000 a month, and that's comfortable for them. Now, living off of $5,000, $10,000 a month, I mean, that's living like rich in Makati somewhere, or even in other places, but you can live on the island with maids at every beck and call for $5,000 a month. Would you want to do that? Probably not. Now, do you want to live comfortable, like extra comfortable, like rich? You can live rich in the Philippines you can live rich because it's a lot different meaning where you're from. Okay, like me, I'm from New York City. You want to live in New York, especially if you want to live the high life in New York, we're talking millions. Even if you want to live in New York City in a 1-bedroom closet like this, where you walk in and then you're looking out the window already, you're ready to exit your house, and that's $2,000 a month. $3,000 a month just for the apartment. So will you have the life of luxury here in the Philippines? Yes, you can come here and live your life of luxury. You won't be living in off $500 a month, so definitely don't underestimate the cost of living. Another mistake you can make, hanging around only with expats, okay? It does happen. I know a lot of you, there'll be a lot of guys that say, you know, it won't happen to me, but it has happened. And you know, there are situations where you see it, like in certain circles, you have certain expat circles to where expats only hang around other expats. And what happens with that is you're limiting yourself, okay? You also find yourself very bored because a lot of times when expats hang around other expats, it's different if you hang around other expats and they're going around different islands and they're traveling around and you're a tight-knit group that likes to get around and explore with each other. That's a little different. But a lot of times other expats, you see them sitting down by the bar, having drinks at night. A lot of times, that stirs up trouble. And I'm not saying that that's gonna happen. That's the sort of expat group you're gonna choose. But hanging around other expats, limit yourself. I mean, get out there, be around Filipinos. You know, Filipinos are very good people. Now, I know I've made videos in the past talking about the dangers that happen here. And yes, those dangers can happen. But for the most part, Filipinos are not getting you wrong. I think it would do you a good justice to get around and be around some Filipinos, okay? You definitely don't want to be around people that are in need with their hands out, but still, Filipinos are good people. You'll have a better time mixing in with Filipinos than just hanging around other expats. So get out there, get to know the culture more, and that's when you're going to learn the culture more, is by being around other Filipinos. So get out, be around other Filipinos. Don't lock yourself behind an expat wall, because that's a very sad place to be, trust me. Another thing that may happen to you, it happened to me, is spending too much money when you first come to the Philippines. Now, what happened to me, I'll let you guys know what happened to me. I'm not saying it's gonna happen to you, but it did happen to me. All right, I'm telling you about my experience. I came to the Philippines and I got caught up in everything is cheap phase. Okay, and you're going around and you're shopping in different places and you go in the store and you'll see a t-shirt, for instance, where in New York, t-shirts were around $5 to $10. Time in the Philippines, you'll find t-shirts 100 pesos. That'll be a decent quality shirt and you go, okay, it's cheap, or you think things are cheap. Now we got the t-shirts also, 75 pesos for 2 black t-shirts. Now we're trying to see where we're gonna go get you know, get it printed. So that's what we're doing now. Pay Divisoria. You know, just trying to get some deals. And then you do the money differential and go, wait a minute, this is this price, and then you overbuy. Okay, it's like the same analogy of going into the dollar store. If anybody's ever shopped in a dollar store, I mean, I wouldn't suggest it. It's very inexpensive and cheap, too cheap quality products. But you know, you go in there, you go, oh, I can get this for this price, I can get this for this price. Before you know it, you came out, you spent 50 bucks. Okay, that's what can happen in the Philippines. What'll happen is you'll find yourself doing that on a regular basis. You find yourself overspending. I remember the first time I came out here, I was in Manila. You know, I would go to SM, then I would go grocery shopping, then I would go here, then I would go there. Before you know it, I spent 150, 200 bucks for the day. Okay, you don't want to get caught up in spending 150, 200 bucks a day when you first come to the Philippines. We're talking 10,000 pesos, okay? Now, some of you guys may be able to afford it. I'm talking about those guys that have that magic budget of $5,000, okay? But 200 bucks a day, 100 bucks a day even, is really ranking it up. You know, you'll find yourself, when you're spending 100 bucks a day, you do that over the course of 30 days, that's 3,000 bucks just off of spending money, okay? So you'll find that what you're paying for your rent, what you're paying for everything, your bills, when you add it all up, say you're gonna be using air conditioner, if you're a guy like how I was, you're gonna want the air conditioner because when you first come to the Philippines, it's going to be hot. And my air conditioner bill alone was around 10,000 when I first moved out here, okay? Not in my first place I lived, that was very inexpensive, but the second place, and that was only 7 months after being in the Philippines, I found myself paying a lot on AC, paying a lot for electricity, of course, because it was electricity because I used the AC all day long. I ran it all day long, I worked at night, I went out, I shopped all the time, I bought food anytime I wanted. You know, then by the time the end of the month came, my bills were equaling up to 3,000, 4,000, it was just too much. Don't get caught up in that, because trust me, you'll soon realize, wait a minute, I need to dial my spending back. I'm spending too much. So it can happen to you too if you come out here and you get so caught up with everything being inexpensive. So watch out for that. Also, another thing that happens, and I see this all the time, not so much anymore because I think I've talked about it so much, but I'm adding it in because this is a thing that people make. One of the things that happen is guys think they can find a job in the Philippines. It's happened so much. Guys think they can transfer what they do now in the States here. Like I've had guys say, hey, I'm a service technician in the States out in, for Comcast. They fix the cable lines and think they can transfer that to the Philippines. Not gonna happen. I mean, guys, in the Philippines, Filipinos, I've hired Filipinos before for $4 an hour, okay? And they're a lot, and I'll be honest with you and tell you the truth, they're a lot less entitled than we are, okay? And I'm not trying to say that every foreigner is entitled, but it's true, they're a lot less entitled. They're not used to the certain things we get in the States, the certain advantages that we have, you know, they're not used to that. So Filipinos, all right, to work out here, okay, you'd have to lower your standards much more. And a lot of times the jobs that you can get here is maybe in a call center, okay? Like for instance, there's been people that have gotten jobs as managers in call centers, but it's only paid maybe 10 bucks an hour, okay? So is it worth it? Yeah, 10 bucks an hour in the Philippines, you still find yourself making around, what's that? I did the math on it the other day because someone actually gave me an offer for 10 bucks, which was crazy. And that's around 1,600 bucks, which is still 80,000 pesos, which you can live off 80,000 pesos in the Philippines. But I wouldn't suggest it for you guys. That would take, really bringing your budget down to the minimum. And so, for make a long story short, really, there's really no working in the Philippines for foreigners. Really, the best thing to do would be to bring a business opportunity to the Philippines. Maybe if you had your own call center or something like that, like BPO type work, that's something you would do to bring income here, not to actually get income from here, because that's not going to happen. They would rather hire a Filipino. And from what I see online, guys, most people are on a roll of trying to hire Filipinos. So that's the state of the world right now. Getting a job in the Philippines, almost impossible. Can it be done? Yes, it can, but there's certain fields you can do. And one of those fields you can do would be maybe a call center manager, things like that. Or say if you bought a business opportunity here. Or another thing you could do is working online here on places like Upwork and things like that. That's something you can do here. And you can find that you can still make similar income to what you made in the States. So can you make it? Yes, you can make it. But as far as getting a job physically here, not gonna happen. Another thing, mistakes expats make, vices. Now, I talked about it yesterday in live stream, right? When I came to the Philippines, when I came out here, I wasn't smoking, right? Then there was somebody that was smoking. The first place I lived, the AC was in the hallway. And I'll tell you the truth, these people that live next to us, they actually did shabu. Okay, I'm realistic with this. Okay, it happens. I was in Manila, and at that time, I came in 2015, before Duterte came into play, and shabu was live in effect in Manila. And so all nights, they'd be smoking cigarettes by air conditioner. So I had to smell it. So for me smelling the cigarettes, when I came out here, I wasn't smoking anymore. I wasn't drinking anymore. I kept smelling it. Slowly, I started craving cigarettes. I started smoking cigarettes. Now the thing here in the Philippines is that vices are extremely cheap. I haven't bought a pack of cigarettes for over a year, but I remember when I bought them years ago, I think they were around 100 pesos. I mean, they're around probably 120 now. But yeah, I mean, to go from New York, $10 a pack, probably $16 a pack now, I don't know, to the Philippines, $2 a pack, $10, $2, $8 difference. Vices are very inexpensive in the Philippines. And you'll find yourself, if you have a cigarette habit, if you have a drinking habit in the States, you come to the Philippines, that may increase because it's so inexpensive, okay? I would be every day drinking. I'd buy expensive alcohol too because it was affordable to me. I would go get, sometimes I would go get bottles of Hennessy, even though it was way more than it is in the States. I would go get me a bottle of Hennessy and just be home drinking it. Now, the thing is, in the Philippines, if you have vices in the States, they may increase in the Philippines. You'll be at danger. And also, that goes hand in hand a lot of times with hanging around that expat community that you'll be involved in out here, if that's all you hang around. A lot of times, they're going to be doing those same vices. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm not saying that if you come out here and do that, that's just straight wrong. To each his own. What I'm saying is, you don't get caught up on vices. There are people that have passed. I remember there was even an expat that made vlogs that passed from over drinking. A lot of guys are coming here and they're older and they're drinking and they find themselves doing the same vices they did over and over in the States. And when you do that here, it could really be the end of you. So it's really a sad situation that these things can happen. They have happened, but it happened to me, guys, and vices. That's the last one. So with that being said, I just want to thank you guys for watching this video. I wanted to give you more of a personal experience from mistakes you can make in the Philippines, because these are mistakes that have hit home with me, myself. Usually when I make these videos, they come from an experience factor, not from just a making a list factor. So I appreciate that you guys have watched this, and truly this comes from the heart, me making this video. It's not just a list to just make. Okay, I've actually experienced this, and this is things that can happen to you. So be sure to look out for it when you come to the Philippines. And the thing is if you don't have these things in your head, that's when they happen. Okay, so I'm sure there's many expats that this has happened to, but this is for the guys that it's never happened to. And coming to the Philippines, just keep a watchful eye out for it. And thank you guys for watching. See you next video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you would like to book a consultation with me, you can book it in my Buy Me a Coffee at buymeacoffee.com/JTBF, guys. And thanks for watching this video. I'll be sure to have a next video, hopefully tomorrow. I'm trying to make videos rapidly within the next coming days. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. See you soon.